A woman I dated briefly in college, who now works at Scientific American as a writer.
Not many hands raised, by the way.
He could have gotten back like that? Was that plausible?
Well, I thought there was some connection. It was like 80% scientifically correct.
Elon Musk is one of, if not the richest man in the world, depending on stocks, prices, and such. He's earned that wealth through hard work and a desire to push things beyond what is standard or even typical. And because of that wealth that he has a lot of cool stuff. We don't just mean companies or houses, we're talking about cars. Lots of cars. Elon Musk has a very unique history with cars, both past and present. And he has some makes and models you might not expect. So, given that, allow us to show you 8 insane cars in Elon Musk's collection. Be sure to like the video and subscribe to the channel. 8. James Bond submarine car. Let's start off in the realm of movies, because as many die-hard fans will know, some of the coolest things about movies are the outfits and props that are used in the film that stand out from the crowd, like superhero costumes, their weapons, or things like that one ring from Lord of the Rings. But while nowadays these items are closely monitored and protected, in the older days, some things fell through the cracks, such as a car from a James Bond film, one that would end up in the hands of Elon Musk for about $1 million. But how could he get such a special car from a classic franchise? In a very roundabout way, believe it or not. In 1989, a man in Long Island bought a unit and found an interesting white sports car inside. As he was driving home with the car in tow, fellow drivers let him know via radio that he was in possession of the submarine car featured in the classic James Bond film, The Spy Who Loved Me. It turned out that this particular version of that car was one of the 8 made for the film. The one he had was a promotion car. But here's the kicker, 7 or 8 of the submarine cars were accounted for. This was the one that wasn't. To this day, no one knows how it went from the promotion circuit to a storage unit in Long Island. But he got it and then sold it to Elon Musk, who noted that he got it because it was something he just loved as a child. It was amazing as a little kid in South Africa to watch James Bond and The Spy Who Loved Me drive his Lotus Esprit off a pier, press a button, and have it transform into a submarine underwater, Musk said in a statement to Huffington Post. I was disappointed to learn that it can't actually transform. What I'm going to do is upgrade it with a Tesla electric powertrain and try to make it transform for real, he continued. He hasn't done so yet, but with Elon, it might just be a matter of time. 7. 1978 BMW 320i. If you were to look up this car, you'd notice that it is the very definition of a regular car, and yet to Elon Musk, it's something very special, because it was the first car he himself ever owned. Back when he was very much not the richest man around, he had this car and spent $1,400 on it. But that's not the end of the story, because the car wasn't in the best condition, so being the engineer that he was, he spent a while just fixing it up. He had the car for 2 years before an accident befell it. Specifically, one of its wheels fell off, which is somewhat odd, no doubt. But here's the catch, it wasn't Elon who caused the incident, it was an intern who was driving the car at the time. It was no doubt a bit heartbreaking for Elon to let the car go, but that's what sometimes happens. Seriously though, how did the wheel fall off if Elon Musk was the engineer on it? 6. 1967 E-Type Jaguar. If you're wondering if Elon only buys regular cars, don't worry, he upgraded eventually. When he was with his first company with his brother, the software firm Zip2, he eventually got a bonus and decided to spend it on a car. But not just any car, a car that he read about in a classic convertibles book. He got the 1967 E-Type Jaguar. Jaguar is obviously one of the biggest brands in the world today and is known for luxury. But to go back and get a classic like this shows Elon's appreciation for history and a desire to have some of the finer things in life. He spent $40,000 on the car, but as he noted once, it wasn't the best ride despite its classic style. That one was like a bad girlfriend. It kept breaking down on me and causing me all sorts of trouble, Musk said of the car in a video. Jaguars honestly have a bad habit of not being nice and functional for their owners, but as Elon would show, sometimes the owners aren't the nicest to the cars. 5. McLaren F1. Eventually, Zip2 was eventually sold to PayPal for a whopping $1.5 billion, and Elon raked in over $180 million from the sale, which he promptly used to get himself a McLaren F1, one of the greatest cars ever made. In many people's eyes, this is the first supercar or hypercar in the world, and because of the fact it was made quite a while ago and has only evolved since then, it has become one of the most recognizable cars in the world, past and present. Plus, it's also one of the fastest cars in the world, no matter the model you're wielding. To be fair, the McLaren F1 didn't start the record for speed on a street or a track, but it did beat it by 27 miles per hour when the McLaren F1 came out. Adding to that accomplishment, it took 12 years for another car to step up to the plate in order to try and beat it. Which brings us back to Elon, because he really loved the car and used it as his daily driver, which we're very jealous of for obvious reasons, so much so that he drove across the country in it. But one day, he was with Peter Thiel, co-founder of PayPal, and the guy wanted to know how fast the car could go. So Elon showed him, and he totaled the car. Yeah, not his best moment. But wait, it gets worse. You see, Elon admitted later on that the car was uninsured, which is not something that someone like Elon should miss out on. Oh well, it's not like he didn't have money to burn on a new car. 4. The Audi Q7. Believe it or not, Elon Musk once owned an Audi Q7. For Elon, it was having this car that made him realize that he needed to do better with the cars that he himself was going to make via Tesla. Particularly, he wanted a 3-row vehicle that you could easily get into regardless of where you were going to sit. The Audi Q7 is particularly horrendous. Even in the best case scenario, you need to be a dwarf mountain climber to get into the back seat, he said. He took that frustration and made sure that his roomier Tesla cars were easy to get into and could fit a whole family, which is something that Tesla is praised for by consumers. 3. Hamann BMW M5. BMW is a great brand, no doubt, and the Hamann BMW M5 was one that just so happened to catch Elon Musk's eye. This is likely because the Hamann BMW M5 is known for being somewhat basic on the outside, but being a luxurious beast on the inside. It's got a lot of room, so it can fit a lot of people in it. It's got a 500 horsepower engine and it drives with clear precision and skill. Elon clearly liked the car, but he also likely used it to get inspiration for interior designs on his Tesla. He has a habit of doing that. 2. Porsche 911. The Porsche 911 is one that definitely fits the mold of rich car guy vehicle. But what might surprise you is that this car isn't a recent version. In fact, it's from 2012. But Porsches are made not just to be functional, but long-lasting, which Elon no doubt appreciated in some way. Though you have to wonder if Musk is a bit less in love with the car, since Porsche is now basically a rival to Tesla in the electric car market. Or perhaps he got to see what his competitors could really bring to the table. With Elon Musk, anything is possible. 1. Rocket car. No, Elon Musk doesn't have a rocket car, but he did put a car of his onto a rocket and launched it into space. In 2018, SpaceX launched its Falcon Heavy rocket. Inside, Musk parked his own Tesla Roadster with an astronaut dummy named Starman at the wheel. Where is the car right now? It's orbiting the sun and is set to be there for a couple of million years. Why? Because he can. So what do you think? What do you think of this look at the cars that Elon Musk has had in his life? What do you think of why he got them? Or what he did with them or to them? Are you jealous of some of the rides he's had or has right now? Do you think he'll continue to go big with his car purchases as his net worth continues to skyrocket? Let us know in the comments below. Be sure to subscribe and we'll see you next time on the channel.